Good morning, everybody. We hope you enjoyed Feliz Navidad on 89.1 FM, WXVU, Villanova Student Run Radio, The Roar. You're listening to Fun in the Locker Room right now. It's 11:46 a.m., Monday, November 28th, 2022. How was your Thanksgiving? We hope it was good from all of us at the show, and we're happy to be back. We enjoyed all of our turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce. We'll go around the room and talk about what our favorite Thanksgiving memory was in a second. But right now, you're listening to Fun in the Locker Room. As always, Sean Rankle, Taxicab Holloway, and Truett Carstetter here discussing the latest news in sports, recapping all the games, getting into our hot takes, and everything that comes with it, having some fun, some good old American fun in the locker room. So we'll get right into that in a second. As always, go follow the Twitter, Fun in the Locker Room on Twitter. Go into the YouTube. And if you want to go listen to some of Rank's great takes, because we do have to quick shout out to Rank for going 4-0 this weekend in our takes, and then he had that double or nothing the week prior, so he's on a roll right now. And I'm sure when we get into our picks, he'll make sure to mention that again. Feels great, obviously. But right now, as always, let's just get straight into the show because we have a lot to talk about. We realize we've been neglecting the NBA and World Cup recently, so we're going to make sure to be efficient today, get to it. But as always, it would be a cardinal sin if we didn't start the show with our takeaways and overreactions. Sean, what do you have?
Overreaction of the week. The Chargers are going to find a way to make the playoffs. They did, as Liam always says, when you're on the road, you go for two, and they went for two when they won the game against the Cardinals. Big win. I know we talked last week about their schedule, and we said how I think this was one of the games that Liam thought they were going to lose, which almost lost it. But I think I'm manifesting more of this than I'm thinking it's going to happen. But they're 6-5. They're one game out of a playoff spot behind the Jets, and I don't fully trust the Jets right now. And I have faith in the Chargers offense, who's getting healthy again, getting better. Justin Herbert's looking great, putting up points again. I feel like the Chargers are going to find a way to get into the playoffs as the 7th seed.
I kind of have to disagree. This win did not convince me at all. They should have beat the brakes off the Cardinals, who have not looked good all season, especially their defense has looked garbage. And for them to win off the last play of the game, okay, props to the Chargers, but how can you even be in that position?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be in that position, but the Chargers are always in that position. And the fact that they came around and found a way to win this game is just impressive.
Yeah, because usually they lose games like this.
Exactly.
Sean, those statements that you just made, I feel like that's kind of contradicting your take. Like how could you confidently say they're making the playoffs when you're saying this about a win versus the Cardinals?
I think it's more.
I think they're scheduled down the stretch though. They're playing the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Titans, the Colts, the Rams, the Broncos,
and the teams in front of them are the Pats and the Jets.
Yeah, I think they can find a way to win enough games to get in.
So say those four again.
So they play in the Raiders. That's a win theoretically.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Oh.
Take game.
Loss.
Titans take
Loss.
game. But they got the Colts, Rams, Broncos down the stretch.
They could lose two of those games.
They could, but they should also win all three.
They should.
They have the talent to win all three.
We say this every year.
I know, but I think they can get to 10 wins in that stretch, and I think they can make the playoffs.
I think they're gonna find some way to choke.
They easily might, but I'm having faith in them right now.
What needs to change? Like, if you were to watch this next game and you saw a certain change that the Chargers had implemented to make it, just basically to make you, let's say, go put some money on them making the playoffs, what would you need to see?
Their defense to hold the Raiders to less than 20 points. I need to see their defense put up a good game. Because they have not done a good job with that at all.
That's a tall ask. I'm going to go with actually establishing a run game instead of checkdowns to Eckler.
Yeah, that's fair. Justin Herbert had more rushing yards than...
exactly. We say this every week.
Only 5 rushing attempts for Austin Eckler.
Exactly. It's very tough to win a game when you don't establish a run game.
Yeah.
The Chargers, I don't know. I can't figure them out.
We talk about this every week. It's kind of... I feel like we're sounding like a broken record at this point. Taxicab, what's your take? That's you.
Oh, well, thanks for the introduction. I need to take Sean off his high horse over there, and I think next week the Giants are going to lose to the Commanders, and end of the season they're going to be in last place in the NFC East. Now, I still think they could sneak into the playoffs in the last seed. I think they could do it. I think the Commanders going to jump them right now. Taylor Heineke's been an absolute beast, and the Giants are slowly coming back down to earth.
We're slowly getting more hurt is what is actually happening.
Happens to every team. Injuries happen.
Yeah,
your
entire wide receiver core is out. Your entire
you want to talk about injuries?
defensive backs are hurt.
You don't need to talk to a Saints fan about injuries.
Come on, your team had no chance starting the season. It's not a crazy take. It's a possibility, but I think they finish last and not making the playoffs because the rest of their sketch. We have 2 games against the Commanders, we have a game against the Cowboys, and 2 against the Eagles.
Ooh, it's
a really tough stretch going down this thing. Yeah. And I think we need to find a way to win 3 more games. I think 10 wins can get you in the playoffs. So I think we need to. This week is a must-win at home against the Commanders, because then it's Commanders, Eagles, and then at the Commanders. We need to at least split against the Commanders. This is huge.
Taylor Heineke's looking good, man.
And he makes mistakes. He makes a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, but the Giants haven't been looking good.
They all right.
To be fair, I thought they were going to get destroyed.
They put up a fight against the Cowboys for the entire first half.
Yeah, but they also just they weren't going to win that game.
No, but they put up a fight
in the first half. And
the
Cowboys just overpowered
exactly.
them.
But they're getting healthier. They have a bunch of guys coming back the next week. They have our tight ends back, pass rush is back. I think one of our cornerbacks might be back. We're just getting healthier. I think give it another week. It's almost like a bye week this week because we get 10 days off because of playing on Thursday. I think they're going to come into the Commanders and they're going to win barely, but they're going to win.
Confident there.
Very confident.
I want to see Taylor Heineke light him up. I'm all on the Heineke hype train right now.
Did you guys see that RG3 thread on Twitter about Heineke versus Zach Wilson?
No.
There was, I'll see if I can pull it up. There was a interesting tweet, and I looked at it to entertain it. It was kind of just basically saying why is Zach Wilson getting so much heat when Taylor Heineke gets so much praise, when if you look at their stats, they're doing pretty similar things, but it's just Taylor Heineke's winning. And they're giving all the credit to Heineke versus when the Jets win, they give all the credit to the
defense.
Rest of the Jets team. I don't know if you guys... let me pull up the actual tweet, but I don't know if you have any opinions off that.
Yeah, well, straight off the bat, Taylor Heineke's not a jerk. He's not a loser like Zach Wilson is.
That's fair. But Taylor Heineke's also not a good quarterback.
No, he's not a good quarterback. It was obvious they didn't go with him at the beginning of the season.
No, they started Carson Wentz over him.
They brought in Carson Wentz to start over.
Taylor Heineke's been the starting quarterback, I think, at least for a game the past 3 or 4 years for the Commanders.
However, you cannot say that in a big game he doesn't show up because he does. You guys remember that playoff game against the Bucks?
He almost won that game.
He almost won that game.
That was
single-handedly.
I think it was the closest Bucks game in that playoff run. Yeah.
It was.
Let me read you some of these a couple excerpts from this thread. So the whole point of RG3's tweet, and I understand this because RG3 was also a very high draft pick, is he's saying that Zach Wilson's judged differently because he was the second overall pick. Wilson's 5-2 as a starter this year. Play has not been great. 4 tutties, 5 picks, QBR 45.1. But Taylor Heineke, 5 tutties, 4 picks, QBR 46.4, 4-1, and was named a starting QB despite no TDs in his last 2 games for one reason and one reason only, and that's winning. And the difference is that RG3 is trying to say is Zach Wilson was the second overall pick, and Heineke was undrafted out of Old Dominion. Now, obviously, I think Zach Wilson has been playing bad, obviously, and I think a lot of his manner and other things have kind of... I think it was justified why Mike White got the starting job, but is there any validity to that take that he has there? That we're judging them differently because of the storylines.
I mean, I feel like it's fair to judge the second overall pick differently than an undrafted guy out of Old Dominion. Yeah. I think that's totally valid to do.
It's a backup. It's almost like Mike White coming in and Mike White putting up Taylor Heineke numbers and comparing him to Zach Wilson. He's a backup coming in. You're also playing in New York versus DC and a Commanders team that nobody expects to do much, and the Jets team that, with how good the defense is, have a lot more higher expectations. Tyler Heineke is also just not a good quarterback. We all can agree that he's not the future in Washington. He's not the future anywhere. But I think it's just the level of expectations we have for Zach Wilson just are so much higher than they are for Taylor Heineke.
And there's a difference in the way they play too. Heineke's going to lay it all on the line. He's going to do everything to get an extra yard, to win. Zach Wilson has shown that he doesn't do that. Zach Wilson's also made critical mistakes late in games where he's throwing errant passes to just nobody. And Heineke's he's kind of like Garoppolo in a way that he'll just sit around. His team might win. He might not do much, but if he's on the field, they win.
I get it. You can go true.
I was just going to one more thing from this thread that I think is really interesting. This is quote from RG3. While Saleh is benching Wilson for poor play, Rivera says Heineke doesn't have to play good to keep the job because the whole team plays better when he starts, even if he isn't, which is something I don't know. I feel like you just don't. And he says you never hear that in the NFL. Only winning matters for Heineke, but not Wilson.
Well,
Wilson gets no credit from Saleh for the play of the Jets' defense, but Heineke gets credit from Rivera for the play of the entire Washington team. Rivera says there's just something special about Taylor Heineke, and everyone else says what's wrong with Zach Wilson.
It's also like a team motivation thing. Like, if you have this guy at the helm leading the team, maybe you'll play a little harder for him. I know the Jets locker room, they would do anything for Mike White. People have said that.
I don't think if Zach Wilson after the game last week said those comments that he'd be benched.
I agree.
I think he would have been if he didn't say that. It wasn't his fault, that it was all. He took no responsibility, took no blame for it. He'd still be starting.
Yeah.
Which is all it is was a comment that was the difference between Zach Wilson. I think that's just the difference between Taylor Heineke and Zach Wilson, and almost every quarterback in the league versus Zach Wilson, that they just wouldn't say something like that.
You have to understand too, and this goes right to our namesake. What that does in the locker room, saying those comments, it absolutely splits everyone. They're going to either choose Zach Wilson's side, which nobody did. He has no backing from his team.
Yeah.
Why would the offense line block for him hard? Why would his receivers run every route perfectly?
It's almost like just bad quarterback play and not take responsibility. It just leads to catastrophe. Like, you look like Russell Wilson. You see the thing of Russell Wilson, the defensive lineman yelling at him after the game, like, do something. Like,
that was wild.
It just. A quarterback can change the entire complexion of the team based on, one, expectations and are they meeting their expectations, and just how much energy and excitement they do. Like, if you've seen a team, like, when a quarterback makes a block, like, the entire team goes ridiculous for him. Like, he makes a tackle, he does anything like that. Like, you put your body in the line, and the team just loves it.
If you are Robert Saleh and the Jets management, are you going into this offseason, regardless of how you where you finish and what you do in the playoffs, are you going into this offseason shopping Zach Wilson and looking for a new QB?
I think that we can't. It's a big thing I want to talk about, but I feel like there's teams in the league that are a young quarterback away, and there's teams in the league that are a veteran quarterback away. And the Jets are a veteran quarterback away, and they're going to be looking for a Jimmy Garoppolo, a Derek Carr, somebody like that could find themselves available and that could just game manage his team to a playoff chances.
Totally agree with that. I think they got to ship Zach Wilson. It's just he doesn't fit that culture either that the defense established, that their running backs have established this season, that their wide receivers have established. He doesn't fit that anymore.
And Breece Hall back next year,
exactly. They need a veteran presence, someone that's going to be able to manage games. Because with this defense, you don't need a stud quarterback. You don't need that, especially with the running back core, and their wide receivers have been playing great. You just need a veteran that's going to get the job done late in the game.
Jimmy G to the Jets?
Even Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career, if Aaron Rodgers somehow was able to get out of his contract, Aaron Rodgers in New York would be turn the team around. Look what Ryan Fitzpatrick did with the Jets a couple years ago. Almost led him to a playoff spot with a good defense.
I don't know if we need to spend a whole part of the show talking about the Broncos game, so maybe we'll just talk about it now. I've seen a couple of headlines on ESPN and the talk shows. Do the Broncos move on from Russell Wilson this offseason? If there was it's gonna be tough to do, but if they had an opportunity, there's a shot, do they take it?
What's the shot?
Yeah, they trade him for a third rounder or something.
I don't know, but is a third rounder better than paying all that money for some, let's be honest, mediocre quarterback play? It looks like a divided locker room now.
It hasn't been mediocre. It's been bad.
bad, subpar.
I don't think anybody takes that contract. Nobody wants it.
But I'm saying if.
I hate to say it. I think the Broncos,
let's say the Colts come to Elway and they're like, hey, we want Russell Wilson.
I don't know, because Russell Wilson hasn't been this bad ever.
Yeah.
You got to think like something's got to give at some point. Hackett's been a terrible coach too. Hackett's been an awful coach. Their whole offense has looked garbage. Receivers are running terrible routes. They're not open either. They've had a lot of drops.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think you got to play it out one more year because this defense has been great.
Yeah.
It's one of those teams where, like, when seasons happen like this, you typically either blame somebody's got to like, go down with the ship at this point.
Got to be the coach.
And with how much they've invested in Russell Wilson, money wise, draft stock, all that stuff, Hackett's gone.
Yeah, got to be.
Hackett can't last. Like, maybe it's not his fault. Maybe he's a good coach and he just put in a bad situation. But like, it's just constantly late game situations where we all like talk about it. Like the first game of the year, like you have this great quarterback, you throw Brandon McManus out to kick a long field goal. He's gone. I think they're running back for Russell Wilson for at least another year and see what happens.
And looking at the rest of their schedule, Ravens, Chiefs twice, Cards, Rams, Chargers, they might not win another game.
Yeah.
I don't think that's crazy to say. Maybe they'll win against the Cardinals or the Rams.
But I guess at that point, if they're not winning another game, do you look at drafting a quarterback? Because they're going to be actually, no, they don't have a pick.
Oh,
That
they
goes
have
to
their
Seattle
pick.
Seahawks. It's predicted to be a
Yeah.
3rd overall pick, and that's our pick now.
I guess you just got to keep Russ and just hope and pray that next year something gives and he turns it around because he can't possibly be this bad
Yeah.
again, right?
In the defense of the coach and of the QB, they haven't had a running game. Like their leading rusher is not on the roster anymore. Melvin Gordon got cut. Latavius Murray is, he's old. You know what he's going to be. Javonte Williams tore something. He was out for the year. I feel bad because they don't. Russell Wilson's so used to Pete Carroll, establishing this running game, like shoving like the running game down the opponent's throat, basically. Just to allow him to have the space to not only pass the ball but also scramble if need be. And to not have that dual threat on offense, to a little bit of slack for them. But maybe next year, Javonte Williams comes back, you get an actual serviceable backup running back. Maybe it turns around. I don't know.
Russ has 3 more years on his deal after this. Plus, if they do cut him, then he'll have a $31 million dead cap hit.
Oh,
Wow.
So this was a 5-year, $242 million contract, which was almost fully guaranteed that the Broncos are going to be digging themselves out of, and they've been digging themselves out of a hole ever since Peyton Manning left.
Yeah.
they're in trouble.
I think they have new owners coming in potentially.
It's kind of funny that like the two. Well, I don't even know if this was. I don't remember if it was really heavily rumored because the rumor was Aaron Rodgers to Denver over the offseason.
Yeah.
And both of the choices just don't look that good right now. So I don't know.
A lot of the big offseason moves have just not panned out.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams to the Raiders. Raiders look god awful.
That's more on the Raiders than
but
Devontae.
still,
Devontae's balling. Yeah.
they just haven't worked out.
That's a good segue into my take. And I'm not hitting the panic button, but I'm concerned about the Seahawks and their ability to. I think they could still make the playoffs, but I think mostly their ability to win the division is really concerning now. You have that loss to the Bucks, which,
It's Brady and on a crappy field.
yeah, you lose to the Bucks. It's whatever. I wasn't super worried then, but then on one hand you have this Raiders team that yes, they've played terrible, but on the other hand they just had some momentum with this overtime win versus their division rivals. Not that it says that much because it's the Broncos, but for a bad team to get some momentum by beating up on another bad team in OT, it's going to count for something. But this was just inexcusable, mostly from a defensive perspective. And let me get the standings real quick.
If you're thinking of the wild card spot, the wild card spot is the Giants at 7-4, the Commanders at 7-5, and the Seahawks at 6-5. And 2 of those 3 teams will probably make the playoffs in the wild card spots. And I think 10 wins is where you have to get to make that wild card spot.
Yeah, and
can they get to 10
they
wins?
were either going to be 7-4 or 6-5, and 7-4 ties you with the Niners. I think that's a big missed opportunity right there. The Niners, they've won 4 in a row. After going 3-4, they're now 7-4. So this is, gonna be it's a 2-man race in that division right now. But I really thought this was our division to lose, which I never thought I'd be saying this offseason. But, yeah, a little concerned.
I do think though. I don't think you're catching the Niners. I don't think you're winning the division. But your playoff wise, your path to 10 wins. You have 2 games against the Rams, and you have a Panthers game. So theoretically, that should be 3 wins for the Seahawks there.
Yeah.
But
A huge win would be beating the Niners.
But then you got Niners, Chiefs, Jets, and you got to find a win there. And that's
if you could win one,
hard to get that.
You think we could beat the Jets?
Depends who's quarterback.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough because the Jets are really good defensively.
This was just a bad loss. I mean, the Seahawks coming off a bye, giving up 40 to the Raiders. I mean, it went to overtime. It's an extra score, but you just can't do that.
And kind of an uncharacteristically inefficient game for Geno, which is, he hasn't been wowing like some QBs, but he's been very efficient and careful with the ball. Kenneth Walker couldn't really get going. It was surprising that we couldn't generate more offense is really what I'm thinking about there. And then letting up so much offense. I remember looking at the score on ESPN in the first quarter, and Derek Carr already had 2 picks, and it was still the first quarter. I'm like, we have this game in the bag. And, the defense, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. The rookies that I've mentioned on the show a couple times didn't really show up. Quandre Diggs had 2. I mean, he had 2 of those picks, and Quandre Diggs hasn't really gotten going this season. But to see him get going, I thought was really going to inspire the rest of the defense, especially like Tariq Woolen and all those guys. But I don't know, Sean. Do you know the Niners' schedule the rest of the season?
I can pull it up. I really don't think you're going to catch them though. I think based on your schedule, the Niners have.
Ooh, yeah.
Niners go Dolphins, Buccaneers, Seahawks. Actually, they have a tough schedule, kind of. Dolphins,
Commanders is not
Bucks,
a gimme.
Seahawks, Commanders, Raiders.
They'll
Cardinals.
win the last 2 games of the season, but if they could lose the next 2 games somehow, and then I think that's going to be a really pivotal game at Seattle, primetime too. That's going to be a really good game. I think that's going to be
Thursday night
huge.
game.
And then they play Christmas Eve versus the Commanders, which that's not a gimme.
That's a playoff game because, in my mind, you guys are competing for a wild card spot, and that's your 2 teams competing for that last wild card spot.
Yeah. And then obviously they'll probably beat the Raiders.
I think you'll back into the playoffs with like 9-7. Was that what I would expect the Seahawks to do as a wild card team?
Yeah.
Just because the Giants have a tough schedule and the Commanders have a tough schedule down the stretch, and if you can beat the Commanders there, then I think you back in like 9-7.
Yeah. That darn Josh Jacobs really
It was a big loss. It's great for me, but terrible for you.
big loss. All right, gentlemen, what game do we want to get into now?
Start with the Thanksgiving games.
Yeah, let's recap that. Sean, why don't you, since you did so well in predicting that.
I guess let's talk Bills Lions real quick. Are we starting to get concerned about Josh Allen? I know he's still hurt, but like it's another week where he's not putting up a lot of points. He's competitive games against teams they should not be competitive against.
Yeah, the Bills aren't the juggernaut that I thought they were going to be, and it's now turning that I think hands down the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. It's not really close anymore. I'm a little worried about the Bills. It's been a couple weeks where they've just been stagnant, and come playoff time, you can't be stagnant.
And they're in a tough. The Jets are only 1 game behind them in the division right now, and then Dolphins passed them.
Are they still 0-2 in divisional play? The Bills.
Yes, they're 0-2.
So
they play the Pats. They have a tough division stretch on the schedule.
Was it Pats, Jets,
Pats, Jets, Dolphins, Bears, Bengals, Pats.
Jeez, yeah, that's tough.
I'm not too. I'm gonna go get devil's advocate here. I'm not too worried about the Bills, mostly because the Lions, I think the one bright spot they've had is they can put up points against good defenses. Like you look at Eagles, good defense, put up 35 week 1. Commanders, good defense, right? Put up 36. Vikings, good defense, put up 24. And then, some bad losses. Dolphins, good defense, put up 27. Giants, good defense, they put up 31. I'm not them putting up 25. Is that what you're talking about? That it was close
no,
because
just that it's close.
That it's close.
the Bills should be blowing out the Lions 9 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I like it's not like the Bills had an inability to score. I just think the Lions
A little bit though. To start the season though, like they beat the Rams 31-10. They beat the Titans 41-7. They beat the Steelers 38-3. Like these bad teams, they were. If the Lions is a bad defense, and they were like blowing these doors off these teams.
And they beat the Browns before last week. Terrible game. Josh Allen did not play well.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, they had 2 straight losses, and then they sneak by the Lions.
They're finding ways to win games, but
yeah, it hasn't been pretty.
Yeah,
it's not convincing.
I think the Bills might be finding ways to win games, but I think the Lions find a lot of ways to stay competitive in games. I think
that's true.
They just cause difficult matchups for teams with they have a lot of talented running backs. St. Brown is really good. Jared Goff, nobody's really been talking about, but he's been playing pretty decently. I just think that it's a scrappy team, and I don't if this was the Bears, I would be concerned too. But I think the Lions, you got to give a little bit more.
I'm not saying this game in particular. I'm saying their past 4 games,
and I think
they haven't looked good.
And I'm concerned about Josh Allen's injury because I think Tony Romo was talking on the broadcast. So he has a UCL injury, so Tommy John surgery to his throwing elbow, and Tony Romo was talking about Josh Allen's throws and how a lot of them were short, a lot of them in the ground, a lot of them weren't completed that Josh Allen usually completes.
That zip that he usually has.
And this is not an injury that I don't think he's going to get surgery for because he's a tough guy and he wants to push through the season. But I think that's also just going to damper the Bills' chances going forward. I think their chances of reaching the AFC Championship game are a lot lower now because of this injury.
I think that's a fair take. However, it is middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Teams are allowed to go through lulls, and we can talk about this 4-game stretch. They still got 2 wins over this stretch.
If Josh Allen can get healthy and look more, then I have more confidence. But until then, I'm a little concerned.
I think as this end of the season starts, they'll pick it up. I think they'll be okay. It's just these past 4 games have not been good for them.
No.
Yeah, that's fair. And this team's they have pretty high aspirations going to the playoffs. So, if Josh Allen gets in that, what is it LeBron does every 0 dark 30? Is that what he does? If he gets in that mode, if Josh Allen gets in that mode, I think it's we're gonna look back and be like, oh, I can't believe we were worried about them. But I could totally be wrong. It's just speculation. Liam, you want to talk about Ravens Jags?
Yeah. Once again, I don't get it. The Ravens just pay the man first of all. Second of all, get him some defenders. The Ravens could be a 9-win team right now if their defense just didn't choke at the end. Playing the Jaguars, allowing Trevor Lawrence to rush down the field and not only get a touchdown but allow the 2-point conversion. I'm not worried about the Ravens because the end of their season is it's looking like they'll have they could win out. Broncos, Steelers, Browns, Falcons, Steelers again. Bengals last game's going to be tough, but they already
that could be for the division.
They already beat the Bengals this season.
That game could be for the division.
It could be
because they're right now both tied.
But
with the Ravens having a tie.
The Ravens, they're going to make the playoffs. It's just the defense has got to do something. They got to do something.
In the Lamar Jackson era, Liam, is this the worst Ravens team he's been with?
Yeah, I've said that before. I think so.
Even though last year he had no running backs last year. Was that the year he had?
Yeah, he doesn't have.
He's got some guys.
Gus Edwards now.
Kenyon Drake is still there.
Yeah, he got 2 carries yesterday. Okay, Kenyon Drake. You can't. Come on.
I like Kenyon Drake.
I do like Kenyon Drake a lot.
Dobbins isn't out, but yeah, he has no receivers. He has Mark Andrews, but no receivers. His defense is consistently blowing games for him.
I think they're losing the first round of playoffs.
I think that's totally fair.
Mm-hmm.
This team is not built for a playoff run.
Nope.
At all. It's basically the Lamar show, which I can't understand why they can't sufficiently build around this guy. Get him a couple receivers, get him a decent running back, and you're going to be dropping 40 a game just because you have Lamar. The defense has been bad.
Yeah.
It just hasn't. They've choked a lot.
I don't think you can entirely blame it on management. Maybe the lack of proactiveness now, but I mean, there's a lot of we've talked about. There's a lot of big names on that defense. Like I think a lot of those contracts in hindsight, yeah, they might not have panned out, but in the moment, like they're no brainers to sign some of these guys.
I mean, Marcus Peters, Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen,
Roquan Smith, those are like,
Marlon Humphreys,
great
Calais
names.
Campbell. They just choke.
Yeah, but they're great. Yeah.
Maybe it's coaching.
They've choked.
Maybe it's I don't know what it is, but like when you say like a couple years back when they traded for Marcus Peters and this season when they trade for Roquan Smith, you can't like definitively say, oh, those are bad moves.
No, but the defense has underperformed. I don't think
Correct.
There's
That's
a question
I
of
agree
that.
there.
And tensions are starting to boil a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw this, but someone on Twitter said like, "Oh, this is why we can't pay Lamar," and Lamar absolutely clapped back at him. I mean, let's be real here.
In a pretty vulgar way.
Yeah, the only way, like the only reason that the Ravens are at 7-4, even above 500, is because of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the hesitancy to not pay him. Like, you're not going to find a better quarterback out there, and if you want to, they've already paid guys on defense. Look how that hasn't worked out for him. So
I will warn any team that's trying to like think about get rid of a quarterback who's consistently getting you the playoffs. You could end up with Zach Wilson picking second overall. Like
exactly.
Anything could happen.
What I would do for Lamar Jackson to be on the Saints right now.
Oh, exactly.
Dude, it's just like in the NFL, it's so hard to find an elite QB. There's so many like not busts, but like draft picks, like QBs that just like are not generational players.
Yeah.
That's why I don't get it.
And you can win with those guys.
Imagine if Lamar Jackson was on the Chiefs instead of Patrick Mahomes, like the numbers he'd be putting up, or the Bills.
Yeah.
It's just like, just pay the man. Is the only reason you're at the position you are now. That's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I think the Ravens, they're going to make the playoffs, but they don't have the team to make a deep run.
One more question on this game, because I know it's something that you're passionate about. What do you think about the 2-point conversion call?
As the Jaguars, I don't mind it at all. I know they're playing at home, but they have absolutely nothing to lose. Nothing to lose going for 2 there.
So you like that call?
Yeah. Why not? They had the momentum, scored a touchdown. Who was it? Was it Marvin?
I think it was Marvin Jones.
Yeah, so he scored the touchdown. Why not give it to him again? And I like Trevor Lawrence doing this. I like Trevor Lawrence a lot. The Jaguars are sitting at 4-7. They have nothing to lose, so why not go for 2? See if you can sneak a win. Because you don't want to. I mean, do you really want to go up against Lamar Jackson overtime when he could break off a run at any moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the Saints?
It's just.
We talk about the Niners.
I think this was more of a Saints loss than a Niners win.
They only scored 13 points though.
Saints fumbled on the goal line. Andy Dalton.
Oh, I know.
Once again, terrible.
I'm concerned about the Niners.
Will Lutz absolutely blew a field goal chip shot, and again the offense was terrible.
Is Mike Thomas playing?
No, he's done. He's out
Again?
He's for the season. He's out.
Is it the same foot or
Yeah,
what?
same
my
foot.
God.
I feel bad, dude. He was the best receiver, and he just hasn't played. It's terrible. But yeah, I just don't understand. How do you not put Jameson when Andy Dalton hasn't done anything? How you gotta switch it up or Taysom, something. Dennis Allen is terrible head coach. I don't know what to say anymore. It was just such a bad game. Poor Kamara's gets the ball immediately. 4 guys are on him every time. Everyone's injured. Lattimore didn't play. The defense played amazing. They got a goal line stand as well. I don't know. This team's just in disarray. Absolute disarray. The only reason the Niners scored 2 is on a tip ball. So the Saints defense did everything they could to keep them in this game. The offense let them down once again.
Yeah, I think I'm concerned about the Niners though. Just because
Really?
once again though, I guess
They should have beat the brakes off.
it's sort of an inconsistent game though. Like we always talk about inconsistency in the Niners so far this season. It's just once again Christian McCaffrey is not getting going on the ground there. I don't know.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's all you got?
Brandon, you can play another great game.
I think
Doing really well.
against almost any other team, I think the Niners lose this
Yeah,
game.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm starting. They've got so much talent.
They play the Dolphins next.
The defense did well.
Against the Dolphins, they lose that game handedly.
I think the Niners play up to that game, especially because Mike McDaniels, former Kyle Shanahan coach, I think it's gonna be a great game. I think the Niners pull that game out, but it's gonna be
They got to play better than they
time?
did. No.
Oh, come on now.
4
We have a
o'clock game.
good. That's a great primetime game.
Seahawks primetime game. That's gonna be fun.
Why?
Which one? Oh, the Niners. What do you mean, why? We just talked about how
That's gonna
pivotal
be
that
great-
game.
That's gonna be a great game.
Yes. I was talking about this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, this wasn't convincing for the Niners. I thought they were going to destroy the Saints, and they look slow. They look slow. They're lucky that they were going against Andy Dalton. Very lucky.
What's the plan going forward for the Saints? Like, is this kind of like a Mike Thomas? You got to get out. Kamara, we need to get some value for you.
Nah.
Blow up this team. As sad as that might be.
I don't think you can blow it up just because of the sheer amount of injuries that they've had this season. There's no way it happens next season where Marshawn Lattimore's missing significant time. Michael Thomas plays 2 games. Alvin misses time. Jameis, hurt or whatever he is. They just have so many injuries on every single position. They can't tank because they don't have a pick.
Who does that belong to?
The Eagles
Oh, for
Olave. Traded up to get Olave, which
good investment.
yeah, great
honestly.
investment, but they're just stuck in this bad purgatory right now. And I mean, this season's a wash. I don't like Dennis Allen at all. However, if Sean Payton becomes the head coach for another team, the Saints get picks. So
Really?
yeah.
How does that work out?
I don't know. I don't know how it works, but if he goes to the Cardinals, which I would really like, Saints could get 2 firsts.
2 firsts from the Cardinals. Wow.
Yeah.
Not sure how this works out. But
I don't know how it works out, but it does, which would help the Saints a lot because
Oh yeah.
they're dying in cap too.
there's
Michael
no way
Thomas-
the Cardinals would ever sign him, though. I think they're right.
I don't think they would. The Dolphins, they were looking at him too. I know at the beginning of the season.
I've seen
they're not
Chargers
gonna get him
rumors.
anymore.
It's kind of hurting Sean Payton's
I think
if he's
so.
trying to get a job, he's kind of screwed because any team pretty much has to give up 2 first-round picks. in
Not
addition to,
2. I think it's depending on team.
Oh, okay.
I think they could get like a first and a third or something, which would be still great. But that's not really going to help this team right now. They need a quarterback. They need to be healthy, and that's 2 things that aren't going to happen this season. I don't need to talk any more about them. It's
Okay.
just sad.
All right, let's try and get quickly to our bigger topics like the wild card races, Monday Night Football predictions. So we're gonna go rapid fire for the rest of these games. Viking Pats. What do you guys think about that?
Vikings bats back, played a good game. Still very concerned. I feel like a lot on Justin Jefferson's shoulders in that team.
Vikings concern me. As Sean said, it's Justin Jefferson. He's got to be down there somewhere. Kirk Cousins just lofting the ball up, but you win this game because you return that kick.
Yeah. Great game.
Great game, but the Vikings what are they? What's the record now?
9-2.
9-2. You got to play better than that.
Vikings Jets next week.
That's gonna be a good
Can
game.
Sauce Gardner lock down?
That's
Justin
gonna be
Jefferson? It's a
great
great
Wow.
battle right
I'll
there.
tune into that. Yeah.
Pats played hard. Mac Jones played good. I'll give him that. Played good.
Jets Bears. Who played better, Mike White or Justin Fields?
Justin Fields didn't play.
Oh, who was it?
Trevor Siemian played.
Yeah. No,
Really?
Trevor Siemian didn't play. It was because he.
Siemian ended up playing. It
I
came
thought
out that
he
he
hurt
came
his
out
oblique.
that he wasn't going to play, but that he actually did play. Because I saw the first drive, I was like, wait, Trevor Siemian's edged to this game.
Trevor Simeon's still in the league?
It was supposed
Oh
to be
my
Nathan
God.
Peterman.
Yeah.
I'm
Imagine
so
that.
excited. for that
No.
one.
He's still in the league?
Yeah.
Well, he was in the practice. So Justin Fields
third team.
dislocated his shoulder or something like that last week.
Oh, okay. All right, so rephrase the question. How did Mike White do?
Mike White played good. 315 yards, three tuds. Good completion percentage.
Beautiful.
Great QBR. Team loved him. Shout out Garrett Wilson. Or no. Who was
But also Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, Garrett
Two tutties,
Wilson,
yeah.
yeah, 2
Started him
tuds.
in fantasy.
Yeah.
Great decision.
Shout out Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I'm a little mad at the Jets right now for some reason that Zonovan Knight is their lead running back. Like, why is James Robinson, who they traded for, not in this game?
Great trade.
Why is
Great fantasy
Michael
trade.
Carter-
Zonovan Knight.
Michael Carter only got 6 carries too.
Zonovan Knight.
And then Ty Johnson had 5 carries, 62 yards, and
Never
touchdown.
heard this guy.
Wow, that's
Whatever.
for him.
Mike White played well. It's a bad Bears team. I'm intrigued to see what he does against a better Vikings team next week. I'm I like Mike White, but I'm not big on the Mike White hype train.
We have a friend of the show. His name is John Drozdick. He's a passionate Cardinals fan. If you had to say one thing to him right now, with this season essentially lost, and there's a lot of frustrating things with Kyler Murray going on, and he's just getting totally memed for his Call of Duty play, what would you say to him? Whether you're breaking a hard truth to him or you're trying to keep his spirits up, what would you say?
Kyler?
I'm telling
No, to John.
I'm telling you, John, that he's been right for the past 3 years. That Cliff Kingsbury is a major problem, and Cliff Kingsbury is terrible, and that he's got to go. I was a big Cliff Kingsbury supporter for a while, but this is terrible. They got so many weapons around him and nothing.
The Cardinals need to get a new wide receiver coach. I've never seen a team with wide receivers running the wrong routes, first of all, running into each other, or just getting the smallest amount of separation. I've never seen a team that has these issues. And they have D-Hop, which is crazy to think about.
Unacceptable. All right, gentlemen. I guess last couple segments for our football NFC wildcard race and AFC. We kind of touched on this earlier, but Sean, why don't you introduce this?
Yeah, there's 3 teams right now for the wildcard race because I'm personally assuming that 49ers win the division. Giants 7-4, Commanders 7-5, Steelers 6-5. Going to be a race. Going to try to get 9-10 wins. Probably gets you in the playoff spot. All these teams have tough schedules down the stretch that we just talked about in the show. I don't know who's going to get it. I really think anything can happen. If the Giants Commanders split 1-1 in their series, then it opens up for all 4 NFC East teams to get in. If one team wins both the games, then I think it opens doors for the Seahawks.
I think they hit the nail on the head. I don't have anything to add.
You had nothing to add there?
Nothing to add. I think he hit the nail on the head.
Are we making predictions here? Or are we we're just stating the race?
I don't want to make a prediction.
I already gave my prediction, so.
All right, there you go. Okay, enough said about that. I guess we're going to move into the Monday Night Football predictions. And
wait, can we talk AFC wildcard real quick? Because I know I personally picked the Chargers to win the last spot.
Yeah.
Liam, do you think the Jets could get it?
I want to see I'm going to believe in the Jets. Why not? Got to believe.
I want to see the New York Jets get in there. Yeah.
As do I. It'd be fun. But I think the Chargers are going to do it.
Be good for the nation as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, why don't you introduce Monday Night Football as you
Monday Night
deserve
Football
it.
Picks went 4-0 on a Monday Night Football and Thanksgiving Day Football.
Congrats.
Big. Giants bailed me out. Good teams win, great teams cover. This week I'm now 10-5. Liam and True both went 1-3 this week, so they are now 6-8 both. Liam, I think you're looking at your double or nothing next week with the Saints, so he's excited about that one, maybe?
I don't know. I was talking about that one, and, after thought, I might have to rescind that. Because,
okay.
Andy Dalton. Yeah.
Well, anyway, Steelers at the Colts. Colts -2. I'm a big Jeff Saturday guy. Jeff Monday. Colts cover the 2 points.
I'm going to have to revert back to my old ways, my old winning habits. And that is just simply take Rank's pick and take the opposite of it. I'm going to go Steelers cover, I guess.
Are you confident in that pick at all?
I'm not confident in either way.
It's a terrible night football game.
I want to see Najee go off again. That's what I want to see. I want to see Pickett throw for a touchdown, Pickens catch it, and I want to see a Najee 40-point fantasy game. That's what I want to see. I'm going with the Steelers.
Oh, this is just
It's an ugly
bad
game.
game, dude. I mean, I don't know who to pick because on one hand, like, Jonathan Taylor, is enough of a reason to choose the Colts. TJ Watt is back, though, which is huge because, I think we've all seen the stats of Watt on the field and Watt not on the field. And this O-line for Matt Ryan is like not doing it's not giving him any help whatsoever. They're just abysmal. But Pickett's not good. I'm really. You know what? I'm gonna go Steelers. Yeah.
Fade the man.
It's not even a fade. It's just genuinely kind of what I think might happen. I think TJ Watt is gonna is gonna have his way with this abysmal O-line, and he's gonna put Matt Ryan on his tush. So yeah, I'm gonna go Colts. I mean, excuse me, Steelers.
I'd love to see an absolute slugfest of just like maybe like a 14 to 10 or something like that. Or
why? What do you want to see?
I want to see an ugly Monday night game.
You know what we didn't talk about? We got to talk about last night's game.
Oh, last night's game was great.
Eagles Packers. Yeah, Liam, you want to talk about is this Aaron Rodgers' final straw?
Oh yeah. I don't know if it's gonna be after this season that he goes or next season, but he's not. There's no way that contract is gonna go to completion. I don't think that's a hot take at all.
Well, the first half of this game, where did this Packers team come from? Like,
they got lucky with the fumble return.
They've been playing better though. Christian Watson's been playing really well.
Yeah, the rookie, he's been playing well.
The only receiver that like is fast on their team, and
yeah.
But it's finally. I feel like these past couple weeks,
bad.
I finally looked at the Packers wide receiving, like leading targets, leading yards, and Christian Watson's up there. It's not like a Randall Cobb. Like we're not like going crazy. It's finally like actually consistency. So that's nice for the Packers.
On the flip side, the Packers defense it's right now the worst in the NFL.
Which is a shame, dude.
They
Jair Alexander's good.
I've never seen a team just have more room to run the ball than last night. It was absurd. I could have been the starting. I think I would have had 2 touchdowns last night.
You want to hear the rushing stats for Liam? Jalen Hurts, 17 carries, 157 yards. Miles Sanders, 21 carries, 143 yards.
Jeez.
In total, 49 rushes for 363 yards. That's insane.
And Gainwell broke off a good one.
Gainwell got 8 for 39. Boston Scott got 3 for 24. I don't think I've ever seen a game like this that had that many rushing yards.
They just got run over and over again. And their defensive coordinator wasn't playing a QB spy either, which is absolutely absurd against Jalen Hurts. Team's terrible. I don't know. They give all this money to Aaron Rodgers, but they don't have enough money to give to anybody else. And
I didn't realize Jordan Love actually played this game.
Dude, he played well.
He scored.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, like you have nothing really to play for anymore. And I don't know why Aaron Rodgers went to the locker room, but
rib injury.
Rib injury? Okay, perfect. Well, no offense, but perfect. Start Jordan Love the rest of the season. Why not, dude?
They can't.
Why not? What do you have to play for?
Because they have the money. They get the money in Aaron Rodgers. He's not leaving next year unless they find a way to trade him. Like
they can't trade him.
What if
with
this
that
rib
contract.
injury? Like,
Yeah.
What if this rib injury? He's out 2 games, and then Jordan Love just goes off these 2 games.
you still can't. I think Aaron Rodgers has this. It's like I don't know. It's like Tom Brady getting hurt and you benching Tom Brady.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the Bucks aren't that bad compared to the Packers. The
I
Packers
know.
have nothing to play for.
I mean, the Bucks have been bad. Bucks have been really bad.
Yeah, but they can still win their division.
That's true. That's true.
They will.
They should. Terrible.
All right, let's talk some basketball.
Yeah, let's. First, we have a little bit of an advertisement we got to go through. Let's see. The holiday open house at Willow's Mansion in Radnor is happening on Saturday, December 10th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. There will be children and adult craft activities, holiday music, tours of the mansion, vendors, and more. The Willows Mansion at the Willows Park Preserve is located at 490 Darby Paoli Road in Radnor. Go check it out. We're all going to be there. So if you want to come see us, Saturday, December 10th, we'll be there at like noon. So come see us. NBA. What do we got? Somebody throw out a stat line or a headline.
Ben Simmons is playing better.
Yeah, he is. He really is.
He's playing better. He went for 8 for 8 the other day. I saw the stat line. He's got like 20 points these last couple games. He's getting his rebounds, getting his assists. I don't know. I'm liking Ben Simmons.
I still don't understand
how. A weird statement from you, Sean.
How teams like give up points when he's on the court, though. I don't understand it because like you don't need to guard him at all.
His driving.
It's
He
weird.
seems to be getting more like relaxed. I feel like it's like he's gone through a lot of stuff. I feel bad for the man. He's starting to like get in a better mindset. I don't know.
I love that shrug against the Sixers when he hit 2 free throws. That was hilarious.
Let's talk about that game. What a bad loss. And this says more about the Nets than Simmons. But you have no Harden, no Embiid, no Maxey. It's Ben Simmons' first game returning to Philadelphia since being traded.
Versus
that he's
Toby.
playing. Yeah, versus and Tobias Harris was the best player for the Sixers that night.
Oh,
Like that was active. They had 10 active players on the roster, so they were a thin team.
Who was the guy who like scored and then like said something to Kevin Durant after the game? Was it
Georges
George
Niang. It was
George
Niang.
Niang was like carrying, and you lose that game. What does that say? First of all, the Ben Simmons shrug thing, that's hilarious. And then also, he had the audacity, after you lose the game, to be like, oh, I thought they were going to be louder. Talking about the Sixers crowd. You have the audacity to say that. But what does this say about, first of all, this coach this interim coach for Steve Nash, is not going to be the guy. And I understand, like, they didn't hire Udoka, whatever his name is, for reasons. I get that, which is honestly funny because it's not like the Nets, you could say they have enough controversy, but what's a little bit more, honestly, at this point by signing him. But that's not his job anymore, after this season. And what type of culture does this speak of, Have some accountability. For one, Kevin Durant, I think he took 11 shots. It's either 7 shots or 11 shots, which is still not enough. Which is, demand the ball, first of all. I'm just like, I'm so at a loss of words for this team and the lack of winning culture and accountability and playing for one another. Like, does this not bother them? At one point, like, in the fourth quarter when you're down, like, 10 or whatever, are you not bothered? Do you not take a step back and be like, there is absolutely no reason we should be losing this game? We have all the incentive of the world. The Sixers are missing their top 3 players. They have really no incentive to win this game. Like, they're definitely not coming in thinking like we are going to absolutely destroy them. They're, it's going to be a slugfest. And the fact that they wanted it more, does the rest of the Nets team not be like, this is Ben Simmons' revenge game? Let's win this for him, and we should, because we don't have to guard Joel Embiid. Like, what is wrong with this team?
I think, and this might be a little bit weird. I'm going to defend the coach here because I think you put anybody in that situation, I don't think anyone is going to be successful with what's going on with the Nets.
I think Popovich would be successful.
This goes on the players, and this goes on their quote-unquote leader, Mr. Kevin Durant. Once again, I don't know if we hit on this last week, but they lost a game, and he said, well, you got to look at who's out there with me, And then he threw his teammates under the bus. Kevin Durant, man, or bum, first of all. You got to own up. Take some leadership, Fire your teammates up instead of throwing them under the bus. And
they just don't care.
They don't.
They don't care.
Sad.
They don't play good defense. They don't try. There's effort that's not there on the court. I think it's a problem in the NBA in general, but with the Nets especially, they just don't care game in and game out. They know they're going to win enough games to get in a playing game and do something. Kevin Durant's they're going to collect their paychecks, go home, and that's it.
You know what speaks about, and Sean, you'll like this not comparison, but I'm just going to bring this up. Kevin Durant is out here making excuses, not holding himself accountable, not firing up his team. And you know what I really liked the other day? When Steph Curry, there was a viral clip that went around from a podcast, I think it was JJ Redick's podcast, was asked about the 3-1 lead. And did he make any excuses? No, he didn't make any excuses. He said he gave a lot of credit to LeBron and Kyrie and said they played out of their minds, like the best I've ever seen for a 3-game stretch of my life. Mm-hmm. Not a single excuse was said, which is maturity, and being a professional. And holding it, not generating excuses whatsoever. Like, I mean, it's basically just like saying he basically just said he got outplayed while giving credit to the other guys. Like, and that is just such a difference. And I think that's why Kevin Durant will never be the best player. Well, let me rephrase that. He will never lead a team to a championship because it's beyond just on paper on a roster. You had James Harden, Kyrie, and yourself on this team, Joe Harris. You have this team now. There's absolutely no excuses. Like, that's all I have to say about that.
It's just sad because they have talent, And I guess it just goes to show you that talent isn't enough anymore. You got to have some sort of intangible, some sort of leadership, some maturity. That's why it's easy to root for guys like Steph Curry, because they have that leadership. They have that mentality that they want to win. They want to make their teammates better. They want to make the team better. That's not what they have in Brooklyn.
I don't think I've ever really heard Steph Curry make an excuse. Like, and it's a very honorable thing.
There's a reason why he has 4 chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I don't like him, but I respect him a lot. I have a storyline I think we should talk about. I would like... there's a certain man I think we need to... Well, not me, but I think there's a certain man that Liam needs to apologize to.
I need to apologize to Mr. Glass Bones, Anthony Davis. He's been balling lately. Absolutely balling. I gotta pull up the stat lines because they've been crazy.
Last 6 games has been ridiculous.
Was the game against the Spurs when he started going off, or was it the?
No, it was really since LeBron has been out that he's just been dominating.
Let's see. Okay. Can we look at stat lines from the past?
I got stat muse for you. His last
okay, perfect. 7
games, he's been averaging 30, 16. I don't really care about his 3 assists, but let's see how many blocks he's getting. 2.5 blocks, steal and a half. I mean, yeah, these stat lines are ridiculous.
I just love the way he's been attacking on offense. He looks like his old self again. Obviously, it's always scary when he falls just because, he's somewhat fragile, but he's been attacking the offensive glass, getting after it, making his presence felt in the paint, and he's looked like old AD. It's been awesome to watch, and I don't know if this is because LeBron's not on the floor, and we've talked about this time and time again, that it should be AD's team. He should be the one leading this team. But with LeBron not on the floor, it's kind of opened stuff up for him. And, LeBron came back, had a great game, and Lakers quietly have been, doing pretty well. Doing pretty well this past week and a half.
I think there's a couple things you can attribute that to. Obviously, Anthony Davis, and just quick little stat, in the last 5 games, outside of scoring 25 most recently, he hasn't scored less than 30, and in that time, he hasn't shot less than 60%, which is absurd. And I think it's Anthony Davis, and I've watched a couple of these games, and it's really just it's not like he's out here ISOing and creating his own shot, but he's dominating in the paint, grabbing an offensive rebound, finishing it. He's been a great roller and pick and rolls, and I'm very happy to see that, especially the time that LeBron was out, they did a lot of Russ 80 pick and rolls, which I don't know why it took them so long. I mean, Russ made Steve Adams. He got Steve Adams a $100 million contract for that reason by just having a great roll man and giving him the ball right in the position that he needs to score. I think Lonnie Walker has been playing really well, which is a shocker that he kind of fizzled out of the Spurs rotation and then has been playing well here. Kind of the Malik Monk replacement a little bit. And then I think also it's just kind of been the defense, which is ironic that it's last year they couldn't play defense and got some offense. Now the problem is they're playing really – Darvin Ham's getting them to play really good defense, but they're sometimes the offense sputters. But I think that's why they're kind of coming into their own. Now, it sucks that the top 10 seeds, like the 10th seed, I think is above 500 in the West right now. So it's going to take a lot of clawing to get even into the play-in tournament, more than probably last year. But it's still early in the season, and we'll see what happens.
The problem with the Lakers, too, is the only way that they win a game is they need either Austin Reeves, Troy Brown, or Lonnie Walker to score 20 points.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get that most nights.
Shout out Reeves. Reeves has been balling.
Reeves has been balling.
Very efficient.
He's been balling, but you're not going to get that most nights. And just this roster is just it's not good. It's a bad team.
No.
They're going to have problems.
Did you see we were all in the chat when someone sent the Pat Bev is statistically one of the worst players in the league right now.
Can we slander Pat Bev right now? He's a bum.
You know what? You can slander him for being bad at basketball.
He is
That's
terrible.
fair.
Like, he's not even bad. He is terrible.
That's fair. But you know what?
Thomas Casper, he's terrible.
You know what I love? Him standing up for his teammate when that punk Devin Booker fouls the heck out of him. Looks at him, says something, and then Ayton goes and stares over, and Bev just shoves him over.
Are we
I
now
love
calling
that.
being pushed in the back, standing up for your teammates?
I love it. I love it.
Pushing somebody in the back.
Well, it's objectively standing up for the teammates,
Yeah.
maybe in the wrong way.
What do you mean? And you know what? You know when Bev's on the court, he's gonna do some stuff like that. You know Ayton going over there and barking at Reeves while he's on the ground. He's not gonna that Pat Bev's not gonna do anything.
I hate the Pat Bev hype. He has started 14 games for the Lakers. He started every game he's played in. He is averaging 4 points.
Yeah, he's been.
First of all, I don't think anyone's hyping him up from a basketball
he's been terrible at
perspective.
basketball.
Nobody's
Terrible.
hyping him up from a basketball
But let me
perspective.
tell you, they love him on their team. I will tell you that.
He's so freaking annoying.
Every team he's on, yeah, the teammates. I mean, you know, they mess with him for those reasons. And just to address the play, first of all, why is everyone going at Reeves like this? Reeves is like the last guy. He's just this white dude, undrafted. He's just trying to play his basketball, and he's doing a darn good job doing it.
He's a dog too.
He's a dog. And if you look at that play, like Devin Booker, gets, I guess it was a block, but then he
Smack the heck
he just
out of
does the wind down to smack him.
Right in the
Poor
face.
guy. He says something to him. Ayton stands over
Ayton
him.
goes over and stands over
Now,
him.
I agree. Devin Booker said after the game, like, push someone in the chest, not the back. And I agree, because we all saw that Jokic thing, and Markieff Morris was out for a long time
Well,
because you have the issue with whiplash and everything like
we
that.
can talk about that. That's a different story.
Well, it's a different story, but I understand like why you can't really push someone in the back, especially. And he leveled him. The guy.
Jokic?
No.
Or
Bev.
Well, Bev, yeah.
He leveled him, and Aiden's probably got like 9 inches and 100 pounds on Bev, and he leveled him, which is crazy. But maybe just be like, hey, Aiden, and then Aiden turns around, and then you shove him in the chest. But I love that he stood up for him, because you know what, I that's just disrespectful. And Austin Reeves is like, he doesn't have an ego at all. He's not like a selfish guy. He is a very wholesome guy. Like that's if you're gonna disrespect someone, disrespect
Bev.
Bev. Why are you standing over Austin Reeves, dude? He's the last guy you should be doing this to.
And you know what this reminded me of? When, Bev doesn't add much on the basketball court in terms of play.
No, not at all.
But you know what it reminds me of? When a manager gets ejected from a baseball game, it fires the team up. Gets
They're
people
playing
going a little
4
bit.
against 5 when he's on the court.
Exactly. So why not
No,
try and
we're-
fire him up?
We're not disagreeing with you
Yeah,
about the
he's-
basketball.
I know,
We're just
yeah.
saying that, like we were talking about intangibles,
Fine.
the Nets could use a Pat Bev.
They could. Oh, they could. You can't deny that.
There are no dogs on that team.
Fine.
This is why, like,
just
that,
don't like Pat
this
Bev.
is the intangibles.
I don't like
difference.
him either, but you got to respect what he does. Not in the basketball court, but like he stands up for his
Maybe
teammates.
not the way he
He's
does it,
old,
too,
Fine.
but-
It's old school
Put him,
basketball.
put him as a guy on the bench. You can push the guy when he falls off the
But
court.
respect his intentions. Maybe not
Yeah.
the shoving the back, but respect. He's got some
standing up
good
for his
intentions.
teammates.
he can
Yes.
stand up for his teammates
He's
from the
being a
bench.
leader.
You think
He's being a leader.
if someone stood over Seth Curry like that,
Yeah.
you think anyone on
You
the
think
Nets
Kevin
is gonna,
Durant's doing that, or
No.
Ben Simmons, Kyrie? Yeah.
Nick Claxton's coming running in.
Oh, sure.
Jeez.
Royce O'Neal? Yeah. No. And you know what? Lakers have been playing well ever since. So, you know, he took his 3-game suspension. It's probably good for the team. And it really did fire him up. It really did.
I think they've won the 3 games without him.
There you go.
That's all you need.
All right, here's a good storyline, because this is really heating up, and I love how the NBA is just totally just shoving this in your face, all the Wemby clips and everything, and I think you can like watch his games for free on the app now. Tank for Wemby is it's going to be a thing like halfway through the season. Like people are going to actively start tanking for Wemby. So I got 2 questions for you guys, because we all know like his play style and what he offers. Who needs him the most? Not who's going to get him, like, probability-wise. What team needs him the most? And actually, we'll start with that. What team needs, like, a generational player like him the most?
The Magic.
I disagree with
I'm
that.
going to go with the Magic.
I disagree. I think they have a good thing going on there.
I think he fits what they're trying to do. He is the centerpiece for what they're trying to do.
I have a better one. I've been saying this forever. I've been thinking this forever now. I would love to see him in the Oklahoma City Thunder. I would just love that lineup coming out there with Shea,
They're too good
Giddey, Dort, Chet, Wemby. I don't know if it's going to happen, obviously, but I think it would just be so good with Wemby in that team.
They're too good to have.
They might not be able to get him, but I think he would be so good with him.
I think I'm going to go with the Spurs. The Spurs have nothing going for them right now.
But he's not a pop player.
Yeah, but it's the question is who needs him the most. They need some direction. I couldn't name a single Pirtle. That's it. I don't know anyone else on that team.
They have
Yep.
Keldon Johnson.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
Trey Jones.
The Pistons could also use him. Imagine him being the center on the Pistons
No,
team.
but at the same time,
He's a miss. I think in my mind, I think he's a missing piece to a team. I'd rather him be a missing piece to a team than the Spurs, where he's just wasting his career away.
Okay, fair, but I'm asking who
I wouldn't say that.
like who is so directionless and in such a need of a pivotal player like that. Like
In that sense,
to
there's
address your
only one
teams
team.
like the Pistons.
Oh well, then the Lakers. There you go. Yeah,
right.
directionless.
With the Hornets.
Yeah.
The Pistons and who did you bring up?
I think
The Magic.
I think,
that without Wemby, they will still have their good core going. Like you got Cade, you got all Paolo and all the other players and Bulls. They already have Bol. Bol is Wemby essentially.
we can disagree on that, yeah.
Now moving into the second question, which I think is kind of more tailored towards our thinking. What team does he complement the most? Which I think is what you guys are going into.
I guess, yeah. I think he fits what the Magic are trying to do right now is just get tall guys, positionless basketball, but just bigger than everyone else. And having a 7'5" dude that can play that's going to play the 3 is exactly what they're going for.
Think about this lineup on the Magic: Suggs, Paolo, Franz, Bol, Wemby.
Just height on height.
R.I.P. rebounds for the other team. You're just not getting a rebound.
Yeah. Already they're running Wendell Carter Jr.
And he's a center
as
too.
the starter as their starting 5 and Mo Bamba as their backup.
Oh my God.
I'm so happy Bul's finally starting in this league.
Yeah, I'm happy for him
balling
too.
too.
I'm so happy.
But I think this is exactly what the Magic are trying to do, is to just get tall guys that can play every position, that can shoot, handle the ball.
If you want to go there, then imagine him on the Raptors.
Yeah, well that
Wow.
Never gonna happen.
it's just not. I wouldn't like that. That wouldn't be fair.
But
Okay, so Sean, what do you think about you mentioned the Pistons?
I think it'd be fun on the Pistons. I think they have a young core building there. I think Cade, Ivy, Sadiq, obviously Villanova guy, and Wemby would just be a really good team.
I like that too. I think Cade and Wemby would be. I think they would complement each
Pick
other
and
pretty
pop,
well.
pick and roll,
I think they would complement each other very well.
Let's be honest. Wemby would complement anybody.
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I would like to see him on the Pistons too. I think that would be a fun team.
Pelicans.
That wouldn't be fair.
What about the Rockets?
Yeah.
That-
Jalen Green and Wemby.
There'd be a lot of dunks.
Yeah.
A lot of dunks going on. Houston would be flying. Prepare for takeoff.
All right, one more topic before we get into the World Cup and Nova basketball. It's mostly just like we don't need to talk about it that much. I think it's just like a nice shout out to Kevin Huerter. Man's been balling. He's been getting some appreciation from Kevin Durant. Said that he's like on the Steph Clay level, which is crazy statement. And I think that attributes to that's something that you can easily attribute the Kings' success to. The Kings have been playing really well, and yeah, De'Aaron and Sabonis and Terrence Davis and Malik are getting the credit, but Huerter's been shooting the lights out of the ball, 50% from 3, something like that.
Any credit that Kevin Durant gives is
Okay, come on, that wasn't the point though.
I know that's not the point, but good for Kevin. Averaging 16, 3 and 3. What are shooting splits? Oh wow, shooting 55% from 3 at home.
Huerter?
Beam team, baby.
Yeah.
Think the Kings could have a shot
No.
to make a
Play-in?
top
Yes.
8? You think they could
No.
slide in 8?
8th.
No.
You think they could?
No.
No.
Nope.
Playing really well, Rank.
I know, but it's a lot of teams better than them.
That's true. That is true. I want to hit on one thing before we switch it up. I think a lot of this thing going around in the NBA where players are just being corny and they're messing around for absolutely no reason. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this really made me angry. Dejounte Murray shot a 3, made it against the Rockets, and then smacked Jabari Smith's head after he made it. Did you see that?
No.
I think NBA players in general got to stop with this messing around, this corny garbage, and just go back to playing basketball. Devin Booker, don't talk garbage after you slap someone in the face. DeAndre, and you don't need to stand over Austin Reeves. I just want to see NBA players start playing ball again. Stop with this garbage. Trae Young, Jalen Green. Trae Young's taking the ball to the hole. Jalen Green flops not once but twice after not getting hit. Trae Young also flops. It's just, come on.
What'd you think about the Murray? Is it
That's what I was talking
so you're
about.
right.
It's
Okay,
garbage, dude. Stop that. He didn't do any of that in San Antonio, I'll tell you that.
Ego's game. He makes one All-Star team, gets traded for a bag of assets, and suddenly he's hot.
A lot of people need to put their egos in check a little bit and start playing ball.
That game, they also combined for 70 and blew a lead to the Rockets.
They blew a 10-point lead and lost. So maybe it wasn't focused on doing that and focused more on his play, they would have won. But
I just don't think NBA players care enough anymore.
I think, you know what, that's pretty synonymous with my take.
Yeah. The NBA gets me mad quite often. I haven't watched a lot of games this year, but I just can't. Rarely seeing basketball doesn't matter.
Just the disparity between
They don't care.
guys like that and then guys like Giannis.
A lot of guys just don't care these days.
Crazy.
On that note, World Cup.
Yeah.
Wait. Trivia.
want-
Oh,
trivia
sorry.
question?
I apologize.
All right. LeBron's about 1,000 points away from catching Kareem for most points. So, can you name the top 10 in most points in NBA history?
Kareem, LeBron,
Kareem and LeBron are 2, yeah.
Jordan's got to be in there.
Yep. Jordan's 5.
Kobe.
Kobe's 4.
Is Dirk top 10 still?
Yep. Dirk is 6.
Yeah.
Wilt.
Wilt is 7. Yep.
I'm trying to think of who would be like
Malone.
10.
Karl Malone is 3. Yep. So you got 1 through 6 so far. We need
Jerry West. No.
Nope. You're missing
Is Elgin Baylor on there?
Nope.
No.
You're missing 8, 9, 10.
What is
Shaq?
Is
Shaq
is
is 8.
KD at 12 or 11 or no? He's at 19, I think.
KD is at 18.
18. Did he just
So you
got
need
there.
9, 10.
Bird.
Nope. One is currently playing, I think.
You think?
Yeah. I actually have no idea. Haven't heard his name this year.
Melo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still
Good for
playing.
him. I don't think he's on a
so.
team.
He's 9.
Good for him.
Is 10 retired?
Yeah.
Is he a weird one?
No. Old guy. Played for the Rockets.
Oh,
Oh,
Hakeem?
Nope.
Harden?
Nope.
McGrady?
Nope.
Yao?
Nope.
What the?
Old guy
Clyde?
played
Nope.
for the Rockets.
I just named every Rockets legend. Jeremy Lin.
Played from 76 to 95.
It's like Elvin Hayes.
Nope.
Mark Sampson.
He bounced around a little bit. Played with a lot of teams.
What other team?
Houston, Philly, Washington, Atlanta, Milwaukee.
Joe Johnson.
Moses Malone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if you said he played in
I think
Philly.
I think the Sixers for him, yeah.
All right. World Cup, briefly, because I want to talk a little Nova basketball before we're done with the show. USA Iran tomorrow. Winner moves on. Lot of off the field stuff going on right now. I don't know if you've seen it. Apparently, like USA Twitter wouldn't display the Iranian flag in like protest of Iran, and then today at the press conference, Iran was like asking Greg Berhalter, like, "Have you talked to the U.S. government about removing your ships from Iran?" And Greg was like, "I'm the coach of the U.S. men's national team. I don't care about politics." So it's been a little interesting, that aspect.
All I gotta say is, watch out, Iran, because you're about to be in a world of hurt tomorrow.
I hope Tim Weigh's the number 9. I hope Brendan Aronson and Pulisic are out wide, and we can just destroy him.
I
Our
wanna-
midfield we looked really good against England.
We, for all intents and purposes, we beat England
Mhm.
basically.
Just got to put the ball in the back of the net, please.
We got so close. Pulisic hit the bar. I think
McKennie missed a bigger chance.
Iran they're a good team.
Mhm.
They're top 20 in the world.
Yep.
I think we're gonna take care of business tomorrow. I
I hope so.
think we're gonna be okay. In other news, teams have qualified. There's been a couple upsets. Morocco beat Belgium. France is looking dominant. What's the score of the Brazil game?
It was 0-0 last time I checked.
Brazil's playing right now. I think Brazil, Switzerland. But But yeah, there's been some good-
Brazil won 1-0.
Brazil won 1-0, so they're through. Ghana beat South Korea. Canada, after saying that they were going to quote unquote F Croatia, got smoked 4-1.
Yeah. Spain's been very dominant.
And Messi, incredible goal, incredible play against Mexico. That's a huge rivalry.
I do want to say, I called the Saudi Arabia upset. You can ask Tom Casper or Jacob Tuck. I called it.
That's a huge upset.
Yeah,
Big
I just want to
upset.
say that. I know nothing about soccer.
But yeah, it's been a great World Cup. Been great games so far, and I legitimately think with the way the U.S. played against England, if they beat Iran, I think they have a chance to make a huge run.
They do, really do. It's gonna be exciting. I guess we got to talk about the sad news in the room about Nova basketball. Quick shout out to UConn and Creighton, 7-8 in the AP poll. Thank you to both of you guys because Villanova is going to need to win some Big East games, and we're going to have a lot of pressure come Big East time when we're fully healthy to not only win the Big East but do really well there, that we can try to gain some momentum back and hopefully
make the tournament.
At this point, we're not a tournament team.
No, we're not an NIT team right now.
No, and I think we have the.
Okay, that's mean.
Dude, we're 2-5.
We aren't. We aren't.
Lost to Portland, like
the potentially we
and
our ceiling's like a 5 seed at this point.
it's sad because it's not like
We're not
we
getting blown
shoot
out.
ourselves in the foot. We're not getting blown out. We just
don't look
start
bad
off
also.
we start off so poorly. We give up huge
Just
runs and then
stretches.
we have to battle. We're always battling back. We're always playing from behind, and that's not the winning recipe.
I've got to say, the effort on defense and rebounding has not been there. I know we're small, but come on, guys. I miss Jermaine Samuels. Like nobody put more heart into Villanova basketball than Jermaine.
It's going to be an issue when the Big East games start and we're not healthy, because
We will. I think Whitmore will play Saturday. I think
Really?
Whitmore's back this week.
because teams like UConn, Creighton, Marquette, St. John's, Providence, right now, they are all better than us.
But if Moore's timetable return, I heard is like January 1st. So like if Moore's back for Big East play, and Whitmore's back, we have the talent. We have guys. Please, like last game, I know we lost to Oregon,
Yeah.
but Armstrong only played 2 less minutes than Arch, which is huge. We're start playing young guys in. Housen played really well.
5 threes.
Great shooter. He needs to
Five
shoot more.
threes.
He needs to shoot
He
more.
needs to be on the court more.
multiple times. He played 25 minutes. He played a lot of minutes.
That for the first
I know,
time.
it was
Like
big, but he's got to have a quicker release because he makes these shots. Just keep shooting, dude. And everybody else, drive into the freaking paint, please.
I guess the only thing that's encouraging, and this is about college basketball in general, is that there's a lot of parity.
Yeah.
You saw UNC lost twice
Yep.
in 1 week. They're the 1 seed.
Quadruple OT.
A great game.
Keep saying.
But anyone can beat anyone, and I think that helps us a lot.
I will say there was a lot of sports on this week. It was quite disappointing for most of my teams other than the USA, but I'm excited for another week of sports.
I just want Justin Moore and his amazing play to come back.
Yeah, we're missing
Would love to see Cam Whitmore make his debut.
probably like 30 points a game from those two.
Yeah, I hope Whitmore plays this week because even if it's just off the bench, just get him back into rotation. Let's see. He's like watching him. I don't know if you've seen the highlights of him over the summer in the FIBA. Ridiculous. He's dunking over guys.
Yeah.
He is so talented. There's a reason why he's the projected 6th overall pick next year.
Yes, sir.
He'll be the first, hopefully the first one and done in Villanova history since Tim Thomas.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I'll take that. Sean, what is your favorite Thanksgiving food?
I've really come around stuffing this year.
Stuffing. You enjoy the stuffing?
I really do love the stuffing.
I like stuffing too. Taxi cab. What about you?
I'm not a stuffing guy. This might be basic mac and cheese. Nothing better than
Oh,
that.
that's really good.
I heard there was no mac and cheese.
No
at
mac and
the
cheese. Don't
Holloway,
worry. I was.
household.
However, I was promised on Christmas
Homemade
we're
mac and
getting
cheese?
we're getting homemade mac and cheese, steak, and kielbasa.
Holy-
wow.
I'm
Wow.
excited. I'm excited for
I
that.
might have to invite myself over.
Quick shout out. Couple birthdays today.
Wait. I want to hear True's favorite Thanksgiving food.
Wait, yeah. Sorry. You turkey guy? Cranberry sauce?
I do like cranberry
What?
sauce.
Cranberry sauce
I do.
stinks.
I'm a
I
big
agree.
mashed potatoes guy. I
love
like
potatoes.
stuffing. Yeah.
Do you have a nice turkey sandwich next time?
What's your favorite
Turkey
though?
sandwich.
You got to give us the fave.
I'll go mashed potatoes. I could eat like a pound of mashed
Great
potatoes.
pick.
Gravy. Oh, forget about it.
Gravy guy.
Huge gravy guy. Young gravy guy.
Couple birthdays today. Today's the 28th. Yeah. Leandro Barbosa, NBA player.
Wow.
Another NBA player.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Bogut.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to
Two
Bogut.
NBA champions right there.
Yeah.
We have also happy birthday to Doug Peterson, not the one you're thinking of, CFL defensive end.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. And see, we got anybody else? Marc-Andre Fleury, the NHL legend.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all we got.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hopefully next week we can talk about a nice Villanova win over Oklahoma and a nice USA advancing in the
Yeah.
World Cup.
Yeah.
If you want to hear us talk about that, make sure to tune in 11:30 Mondays going forward indefinitely. You're listening to Fun in the Locker Room, 89.1 FM, WXVU, the best show east of the Mississippi River for all your latest sports talks, takes, debates, and everything going on in the world of sports. This is Fun in the Locker Room. Trude Carstetter, Tex Keb Holloway, Sean Rankle signing off. We'll see you next week.